In the bustling city of Enugu, there lived a young man named Chike. By day, he wore crepe shirt and a tie, sitting beside a desk as a bank staff. His salary was modest, enough to feed him, keep his clothes neat, and pay his transport. But every day, it seems his money disappeared into one black hole, rent. For years, rent swallowed 30 to 40% of his income. Each January, just when Chike thought he would save something, the letter will arrive. Dear tenant, due to the rising cost of cement, coal and maintenance, your rent will be increased by 15%. And so the cycle continued. Chike's one-room apartment was small, stuck in a face-me-I-face-you compound. The bedroom leaked, the kitchen was shared, and the noise of generator kept him awake most nights. One weekend, quarrel broke over who used too much water, whose children littered the corridor, or who left the bedroom dirty. Sometimes, Chike would just sit by his window, wondering if life had nothing better to offer. One particular embarrassing day, Chike found himself standing in front of his landlord's big iron gate, pleading, Chike, Oga landlord, please, just 2 more weeks. My salary never come. I promise, I go pay full. Landlord frowning, Chike, this is the third time. If I no see my money, I go lock you outside. True to his word, one night Chike returned from work to find his door locked. He had no choice but to call friends, and by midnight, a pickup truck carried his belongings to another rented home in another compound. Chike's girlfriend often scolded him. Amara, Chike, look at you. You work at a bank. You live like this. Why can't you get a better place? My friend's boyfriend stay in a self-contained flat with tiles, not this kind of a place. Chike sighing, Amara. You don't understand. A better place means more money. More rent means no saving. I can't keep living like this forever. But Amara seems not to be satisfied. Her countenance added to Chike's worries. One evening, Chike returned home early. As he passed the backyard, he overheard voices, his new landlord and some friends. The landlord, a stout man with a big belly, was laughing heartily. Ah, my friends, do you see this house? I built it 20 years ago. Since then, tenants have been paying for everything. My children's school fees, my wife's shop, even my car, all from rent. I don't sweat, I just hustle. As long as they pay, my family will never suffer. The friends laugh, clapping their hands. Friend, hey, you are enjoying. Oh. Tenants are your oil well. Chike froze. His landlord's word pierced through him like arrow. That night, he tossed and turned on his small mattress. Sleep refused to come. The landlord laughter echoed in his ears. My children will never suffer. Tenants will keep feeding us. Chike whispered to himself in the darkness. So all these years, I have been sweating, begging, struggling just to make another man rich and his children will live well while I remain a tenant forever. God forbid. His heart raced. Something inside him snapped that night. For the first time in his life, Chike decided this cycle must end. I cannot keep working just to enrich another man. And so he began a journey that would change his life forever. It was as if those words had taken root in his chest, glowing like tongues. But though Chike had resolved that he would one day break free, life around him did not make the journey easy. Chike had friends, close ones, who loved what they call soft life. They believed money was for enjoyment, not for stress. Every Friday after work, they would call Chike. Emeka, guy, where you dey? Pepper soup dey boil for bar, forget stress, come flex small. Life no get duplicate o. Ekene. So you dey ready, beer dey chill, mortuary standard. You go just waste this weekend at home. Abeg come out. One must enjoy. Chike would hesitate sometimes. Sometimes he would join them. He knew how the routine went. loud laughter in dimple light bar, plates of steaming goat pepper soup, bottles of beer lined up on plastic tape, and endless arguments about football, politics, and women. It was fun, yes. It made the week stress melt away. But at the end of each month, GK would check his account balance and frown. The money he fought, he had melted away like ice in the sea. It wasn't just the outing. His friends had a way of dressing that made GK feel left behind. Ekene, the loudest amongst them, changed his sneakers every month. Life is short, he said. Why wear old shoes? Emeka, the smart talker, bought designer shirts at if the researcher was at. His wardrobe looked like a boutique. They were always in competition. Who wore the latest wristwatch? Who bought the trendiest sneakers? Who posted the flashiest photos on Instagram? Chike with his neat but simple shirt and his worn black shoes sometimes felt invisible amongst them. One December, just before Christmas, Emeka stunned everyone. Instead of buying rice and chicken for his family celebration, he walked into a store and bought a brand new iPhone 17 worth millions. When they gathered at their usual spot, he slammed the phone on the table, grinning. Emeka, boys, see upgrade. You did look iPhone 17 live. Get old model. We done level up. Ekene, chai Emeka. You too dey enjoy life. See as the phone shine. You sef go change this my own very soon. They all admired the phone, passing it round like it was a newborn baby. Chike smiled quickly, but inside something twisted in his chest. Millions. That was more than his yearly rent. That night, when he lay on his tiny mattress, the number wouldn't leave his head. He imagined what that amount could do if he saved it. But temptation has a sweet voice sometimes. As he scrolled through social media, Chike would see influencers flaunting vacation in Dubai, Abuja clubs with campaign shower, when posting in front of cars they didn't own. His heart would whisper, just once, buy new sneakers, get that nice shape, upgrade your phone, enjoy a little, you deserve it. But then another voice echo, his landlord's voice. Tenant will keep feeding us. My children will never suffer. Chike will sit up in bed, sweating, torn between two walls, the wall of enjoyment and the wall of sacrifice. On Saturday morning, after a late night at bar, Chike sat down with pen and paper. He had decided to calculate how much did he spend on enjoyment every month. Beer and pepper soup weekend, 24,000. Soya and hangout, 32,000. Unplanned expenses with friends, fluctuating between 50 to 60K. New clothes and shoes, 52,000. Total was what he could not imagine. Chike stayed at the figure, his hands trembling. 1 year, that was over 700,000. The year rolls by like restless ties, and Chike soon found himself in his 11th year of paying rent. 11 years of begging landlord for more time. 11 years of packing and repacking his belongings to pick up truck. 11 years of quarreling with neighbors over leaking roof and noisy generator. One night, after calculating how much he spent on rent over the years, Chike sat still for a long time. His head was hot. The number looked impossible. Millions gone. Money he had sweated for. Money that could have built something had vanished into landlord's pockets. That night, he made a vow. No more waste. I will buy land this year. Even if it's one small plot in a bush, enough is enough. When he shared his plan with his friends at their usual joints, They burst out laughing. Emeka, Chike, abeg, stop. Which land? That bush. You want to go and live with mosquitoes and lizards? Kene, I forget bush. Buy land in Lekki if you even wan buy land. Wetin happen? You no get money? Abi na you wan buy land now? Ha! You go just waste your money. No go that bush oo. They laugh until tears fill their eyes, clicking their beer bottle in mock celebration to them. Chike had finally gone mad, but Chike only smiled. For the first time, the laughter of his friends no longer pierced him. Remember the landlord's barely laugh. Remember nights of sleeping outside because of locked doors. Remember packing his clothes at midnight. And deep inside, he told himself, better to own land in the bush than remain a slave in the city. Even his family did not encourage him. His sister Ada raised her bow that day he told her, Ada, Chike, you mean you will buy land where? Outskirts of Lagos, that swampy place, so you'll be walking in mud every day to work. My brother, be wise, but buy somewhere you can use immediately. His mother too was skeptical. Mother, my son, land is good, but who will even go there with you? That place is far, far, far. Why not focus on building a better life in the city? But Chidi had crossed a line in his heart. He knew that if he listened to anyone, he would die a tenant. So the sacrifice began. He cut down his Friday pack. The pepper soup joint missed his face. He stopped buying new clothes every month. Old shit became new again after careful ironing. When he chose one thing, he moved to the cobbler instead of boutique. He cooked more at home instead of eating outside. At first, his friend mocked him. As usual, Chike don't turn church rat. He know the flex again. Ekeneli man, he say he dey save to buy land inside bush. Mosquito landlord. But after a while, they grew tired. They still invited him, but when he refused, they stopped asking. Chike became a lone wolf. His evening was quiet, but his saving account began to grow. 18 months of patience. 18 months. That was how it took. 18 months of swallowing pride when his colleagues flaunted new gadgets. 18 months of staying home while others flexed in club. 18 months of carrying the same black sheet to work until the soul threatened to open its mouth. At the last, the day came. He had enough to buy a small plot of land on the outskirts of Lagos. It wasn't Lekki, it wasn't a Ikeja, it wasn't even close to his office, but it was his. Chike could not describe the feelings of standing on that bushy land for the first time, with growth taller than his knees. Dragonflies danced in the air and mud clogged to his shoe. So many, it looked worthless, but to Chike, it was his victory. He touched the soil and whispered, from today, I am no longer just a tenant. This ground is mine. But life, as always, had one more twist. Barely 3 weeks after making payment, Chike received a call from a friend in the area. Chike, I hear the seller want to resell your land to another buyer. They say he has collected deposit already. Better come quickly. Chike froze. His heart pounded as if it wanted to tear through his chest. He rushed to the site the next day, only to find another man standing there with surveying, measuring the stranger. Excuse me, this is my land. I just paid for it last week. Chike shocked. What? Paid? No, this is my land. I paid fully. I have receipt. I have agreements. Voices rose. The seller, a shy man with shifting eye, arrived later, pretending to be confused. Seller stammering, maybe it's a mistake. Don't worry, I will resolve it. Two of you should calm down. But Chike was not calm. For the first time, he felt the full weight of what it meant to fight for ownership. He gathered his documents, receipts, deeds of assignment, survey plan, and took them to the courts nearby. He verified every detail, cross-checked every signature. It was not easy. The seller tries to play tricks, shifting meetings, giving half answer, but Chike refused to be silent. He bought the land with the help of his barrister, and his barrister was in full support of him. At one point, his friend mocked him again. Emeka, Chike, I told you, bushland, you don't enter scam. Ekene, better join us for beer, abeg. At least you will enjoy your money, and at least you will forget that nonsense. But Chike ignored them. Day after day, he pursued the matter. He knew if he lost this land, he might never gather courage again. After weeks of back and forth, the truth came out. The seller had indeed tried to double sell the land, but because Chike had paid fully and he went there with his barrister, the documents were signed, registration were made, his claim stood still, and other buyers backed off. That day, Chike stood on his land again, sweating and exhausted, but in victory. From that moment, something shifted in Chike's mind. He was no longer just 18 and dreaming of freedom. He was now a landowner who had tasted the bitter fight of ownership and came out stronger. He told himself, if I can save for one plot, I can save for two. If I can survive mockery once, I can survive it again. Today I own a piece of bush. Tomorrow I will own a house. One day I will be the landlord others. But unknown to him, this was only the beginning. Greater sacrifice lay ahead. Greater battles await. From construction costs to family pressure, from inflation to the endless hunger of the city. Yet deep inside, Chike felt ready. For the first time, he had tasted what it meant to fight for his future and win. So he will keep winning and won. The land was his, but ownership did not immediately change his life. He still lived in a rented room, still paid his landlord every year, still argued with neighbor over water and noise. And because he had not yet built on the land, his friend used it as a weapon of mockery. The friends laughed. Every time they gathered, they taunted him. Emeka, Chike, landlord of Cassava Bush. How market now? Again, wow, you're still paying rent, but you said you own land. So where do you sleep? Inside the bush with snakes. The table will erupt with laughter. Beer formed in their cup as they click bottles, living their version of life. New clothes, flashy phones, and endless parties. Chike only smiled inside. It hurt, but he held on to the truth. The soil under that bushland carried him. He could not afford to start building yet, so he found another use for the land. Each planting season, he hired local farmers to help him plant cassava. It was not much, but during harvest, he sold the crops in small quantity. The return were little, but the feeling was priceless. Every time he held a tube of cassava pulled from the ground, he thought, the soil is mine from this land. What has come? If it can give cassava, one day it will give me a house. Still, rent never stopped knocking. Each year, his landlord increased the figure, giving the usual excuse, cost of material. Each year, Chike struggled, calculating, cutting corners, begging for more time. Sometimes at night, he would stay at his plot documents, stuck in his drawer, and whisper, one day, just one day, this paper will bring. But until then, the cycle continued. 3 years passed and nothing seems to change. His friend's laughter grew louder. Ka, 3 years, Chike, we are changing houses, changing cars, upgrading phones, and you still in the same room. Tell us, how is life as a tenant with bushland? Kenny added. Better sell the land, join us, and enjoy life. At least use the money to rent a better house. But Chike refused. He watered his patience the way he watered his cassava. He told himself that time was the guarantee, that time was the greatest judge. Then one morning, as he sat in his office, scrolling through the news, Chike's eyes caught a headline. Federal government approving road project linking Lekki to Ekpe axis. Hey, he froze. He read it again and again. His heart raced. That was the very axis where his small plot sat. Within weeks, surveyors arrived in the area. Bulldozer cleared bushes. Politicians gave speeches. The once forgotten road that nobody cared about suddenly became the hottest topic in Lagos real estate. Property agents swam in the area like bees. Plot that nobody wanted 2 years ago began to sell like pure water. Chike rushed to his site one Saturday. What he saw left his mouth open. Where bushes and silence one road. Survey peg now line the ground. New signboard announces estate. Golden City Estate coming. Future Villa Garden. Buy now, don't wait. That looks worthless was now the new goal. He asked one of the agents about land prices. Agent smiling. Oga, we were not here before. Land here was 2.5 million, but now nothing less than 45 million and still rising. 3 years staggered. His knee almost gave away. The land had tripled in value from bush to treasure in just 3 years. Hey, that evening, his friend called as usual. Chike, come out, Joe. With the flares, you still hug that bush. Chike smiled, but this time he didn't answer. He looked at his document again and whispered, let them laugh. I know what I hope. For the first time, their mockery no longer hurt him. He now understood a truth his friend had not yet seen. Time reward vision. Weeks later, when property prices kept rising, those same friends came to him privately. King, Chike abeg, you still get connection for that place? I dey hear land don cost. Dey Emeka, guy no vex for all the jokes. If you see any seller abeg remind us. I fit buy small. Chike only smiled again. Life had turned the table. The same men who mocked him now wanted to follow his footsteps. Chike told them about the new price of land in the area. They were shocked. They even asked Chike if he was going to divide his plot and sell to them, but Chike refused. They could not afford the price of land in that area, and they wished they had bought that bush when Chike bought his. But it was too late. Chike later made up his mind. He did not sell his plot to his friend, but he divided his plot and sold to a stranger for 50 million naira. That money was enough for Chike to build his apartment. In fact, he built 2 units of 4-bedroom duplex on his remaining plot of land. That day, as Chike stood at his construction site, watching as they offload the cement from the truck, his heart lighted. He could not believe himself. He thought to himself, Chike, is this you? Is this how things can turn around? Then he thought to himself that I will not spend this entire money. I will use part of this money and buy plot of land in another outskirt of Lagos. It does not matter the location as far as I own plot. Chike, you don't arrive. It happened faster than he expected. A young couple came to inspect one of the flats. The woman, smiling shyly, touched the wall and said, "This is fine. At least we'll have peace here." Chike's heart sore. He had been on the other side of that conversation too many times, begging landlords, inspecting small apartments, bargaining with agents. Now it was his turn. When the couple paid their first rent, Chike held the envelope carefully. He didn't rush to open it. He went home, sat on his bed, and stared at the money for hours. That night, sleep refused to come. He whispered to himself over and over again, "At last, I am on the other side. At last." For the first time in his adult life, Chike didn't panic when rent was due for his own apartment in town. Instead, he calmly carried a portion of his tenant's payment, paid for a truck, packed his properties, and relocated to his beautiful house.